Y seguimos aquí. Peleamos. Venga.
No backing down!
I see one, eh?
No shield can stand up to these fists!
I never miss.
Its armor's too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest. Burn in hell! First strike! Here I come! Here it comes! You're finished!
Glacial
Here I come!
Freeze, let's go! Not in your dreams.
Vaya.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Buena.
Here, let's go! Air thrust! Light astral aqua!
You're finished! It's over!
Raging
Armor won't
cascade!
save you!
My shield!
Unleash now! More for the stockpile!
Strike! First strike!
Oye, qué nivel eran estos.
Drive! It's over!
Lightning orb! Here I
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Más de las tres es lo que necesitaba. A ver qué por aquí. Cerrado. Genial. ¿Esta puerta? Cerrado. Bueno, que no hay nada. Vengan, hijos de 22 y 21.
Gotta break through! You! Here I come!
Ready to go!
Here I come!
Far enough!
It's over!
Take my revenge on Jay!
Now you'll learn! It's over!
Gravitas field!
Tuya.
Let this one go!
You're mine!
Where are you going? Lightning orb!
Alinearon como si nada.
Eat this!
Field!
Take this!
Rip and
Saving
tear!
this way! Healing circle! Here goes! Back into the fray! Astral energy!
Say no more!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
Por aquí no hay nadie. Hello.
Let's dispose of the trash!
Take this! It's over!
Raging orb! Ready! They really don't give up, do they? Flame of fury! Get in the way! Now! Field! I'll be saving you! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Qué bueno.
We managed to pull through.
Acá hay otra puerta, a ver. No sé qué si había. Creo que había un cofre por ahí, ¿no? Hola.
No backing down! Engaging! You're finished! Blow away! Dragon
I'm the true gunslinger around here!
Bring him down!
Not today!
Fire support!
Dragon Floor!
Hey,
Try this!
lightning attack!
Release!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Acabados los dos. Me falta el otro batallón.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Guagua. Cerdo. Gelatina de melocotón. Tiene los márgenes escritos. Camaradas. En caso de emergencia deben desactivar las barreras y ofrecer apoyo. ¿Saben en qué sala está el mecanismo? No olviden buscar la llave en la oficina.
Is that some kind of note the rebels left?
Hey, it mentions the release mechanism we're looking for. But
This isn't enough to go on.
Hay que seguir buscando. No queda de otra. Oye, pensé que había visto un cofre aquí. Y aquí, plaza de entrada. No, me salí. ¿No? Sí, me salí. Lo voy a esquivar para no hacer mucho con... Es la misma entrada. Ay, sí. No entrar los de la izquierda, por favor. Ahí está la puerta.
Hi, Hoodle!
Take this! On my lord!
Glacial Spear. This one's mine!
Dragon Form!
Denied!
Rage! You think that shield will save you?
I see what... We got fire!
I got this! Let a marksman handle it!
Too strong! All yours! Be my guest!
Take this!
I can carve through armor! My shield!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Great
All mine! Burn!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Will this help?
Not a chance!
No murió.
Time to let it rip!
I'm on a roll now!
Pero ya,
Coming
ahora sí
through!
va a quedar muertito.
Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Mira,
Will this help? The wind! Air thrust! Eat this! Goes healing down with the wind! Air thrust!
oh, todavía faltaba otro.
Our work is done here. Let's
Ah,
move.
amigo.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Esa es la entrada, ok. Esto sí puede entrar. Ahí era nada más lo que no. Espera. Hijos de la wea.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Now you'll learn! Confiscated!
Take this!
A showdown between blade and fish!
You must fear it! Sword Rain Alpha!
Leave the target to me! Here!
Here I come! Dragon Form!
Lightning
It's
orb!
over! Sword Rain Alpha!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Eso.
We managed to pull through.
Mamá. Ey, agarra eso. Y agarramos la llave.
I think this is a key to the noble room of the castle.
A noble what?
The room at the northern end of this floor. Maybe the
Vamos para allá.
release mechanism is in there.
Vamos a ello, nomás que estoy viendo qué más podemos encontrar porque necesito cositas. No me han salido búhos ahora. Voy a agarrar los que estaban aquí. Creo que los agarré, ¿no? Ok. Vamos a ver el mapa. Bueno, a ver. Vamos a abrir aquí, ¿no? Aquí sí que tengo que caminar ahora para este lado. Sala de guardia.
Right.
Este es el cuartel personal de los guardias. Si necesitan algo pueden llevárselo. ¿Tú también duermes aquí? Tenía la impresión de que casi todos los guardias eran hombres. El cuartel tiene una sección de hombres y otra de mujeres. Estamos en la segunda. Entendido. Intentaré no molestar demasiado mientras estemos aquí.
Right.
Me parece bien, a menos que quieras conocer esa masa de cerca. ¿Qué masa? Creo que no estuvo bien la traducción. ¿Qué masa? Bollo de cerdo. Una armadura. A ver qué es la armadura. ¿Para quién es? Para él no. Para ella tampoco. Para ella tampoco. Es para ella, ¿verdad? Sí. Ok. La dejamos ahí. Encontramos, caballero. Hello. Permiso. Sí quisiera pelear con todos ellos, pero ustedes no tendrían que estar aquí.
Go no further!
Now you'll learn!
This one's mine!
Take this! Dragon Form!
Lightning orb!
I'll smash
you! I won't show you any mercy! You're mine! You picked the wrong fight!
Dragon Shell!
Here
You're
goes
finished!
Astral energy!
Say no more! My turn!
To the shadows!
It's over!
Lightning Mega Ray! Dead to the dream! Annihilation!
Eagle Fly!
I'm not done!
Oye, se pareció ese hijo puya. Brincó de un lado a otro, ¿no? Parece que no hay nada por aquí. Creo que esto fue un fracaso. ¿Algún otro sitio que podamos investigar? Si no está en la oficina, buscaría en la guarnición o incluso en la sala de reuniones. Entendido. Revisemos esos dos lugares, veamos qué encontramos.
There are enemy forces here too?
They must be predicting our movements and deploying accordingly.
So they figured we were coming all...
You'll have no mercy!
I see one, eh?
Dance in the wind!
What is it?
This armor's too strong. Be my guest.
Yeah.
One's mine!
Yeah, in the
Never
groove!
miss! Rolling cascade!
Strike!
In here! More for the stop! One more!
Attack time!
Rómpele.
My shield!
Ahora sí.
There's always room for improvement.
Nivel 23, 23. Hola.
Hi, Hoodle!
Here I come! Now you'll learn! Damn it! First strike! Dragon form! I'm going in!
Engaging!
Engage! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Here I go!
Now! You're mine! Pull back! You're lost!
Vamos.
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
Aquí hay un cuarto, pero aquí este cuarto ya estuvimos, ¿no? Habitaciones personales. Move. Get out my way.
Out of our way!
Take this! More my lord! It's over!
Glimmer Dragon! More where that came
You're
from!
mine! Take down their defenses! It's almost too strong! Be my guest!
Lightning condense! Healing circle!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Tectonic punch!
You're mine!
Smash you!
Take my shield? You picked the wrong fight! You're mine! Dragon form!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Yep. Ahora sí caí.
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Billetico está bien, pero... Oh. Y algo. Escrita. El comercio con más azar se vuelve más y más inescrutable. Enviamos cantidades enormes de recursos y solo recibimos productos dudosos a cambio. Lo saben las autoridades.
So what is Mahag Sar exactly?
One of the 5 realms of Dana. From the sound of it, Kelzelik had some dealings with them.
Selección de libros, etiqueta de los títulos, ya que son... Ok, misma. Nada interesante aquí entonces, ¿no? Nada, ok. ¡Vámonos! Esta fue con Saipio. ¿Qué es este? Plaza de entrada. Pensé que era un búho. Barracón. Aquí no hay nada. Ah, quería brincarme por la mesa.
Let's dispose of the trash.
I never miss!
Take this! Dragon form!
You'll pay for what you did! That's my cue!
Shut him down.
Here goes! Take one, not in your dreams! Go!
You're finished.
Do it!
Sword Rain Alpha. Take that.
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Márgenes escritos. Cuando ocupen el palacio, activen las barreras de inmediato. Saben que la sala está en el mecanismo. Saben en qué sala está el mecanismo. Devuelvan la llave al armario correspondiente.
Look! Another note from the rebels.
If we combine it with the note we found before, then there should be a key inside a cabinet in the office.
Great.
En la oficina.
Let's see if we can find it.
¿En qué oficina? Reuniones, Oficina, ok. En el medio, ok. Por aquí. Permiso, ya spawnearon ustedes, hijos de la guayaba. Déjenme en paz. ¿Qué tal el pasillo en medio? Uy, quiero estornudar. Perfecto. Falsa alarma. Ok. Dijo un armario. ¿Estos? Hello. Aquí está.
Even if Danans and Renans aren't on completely equal footing here, both
Bow.
sides still cared about each other. And now we have to fight some of those same Renans inside the palace.
Don't forget, we're here fighting to keep what makes this realm so special alive. Don't lose hope, Kisara.
No pierda la esperanza. Y se me olvidó guardar. Ok. Entré por el sitio equivocado. Hijo de la... Pero eso me da chance de guardar el juego. A ver, guardemos. Para no hacer todo eso de vuelta. Vamos. Y entonces, ¿para abrir esto qué? No, tengo que ir a otra parte, ve. Recuperación. Busca el interruptor en habitaciones del lore. Habitaciones del lore ya lo vi, ya está por este lado. ¿Es este? ¿O es donde están todos los guardias? ¿Este qué es? Tesorería. Me conviene entrar ahí, pero...
No backing down! Bring him down! Far away! Take that!
Lightning orb! Raging cascade!
Down! Ignore! Punch that gun out of your hand! Engage in this! Explosive ring!
Do it!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Here, let me help. Can't get it!
Its armor's too strong!
Smash it! I'll split it open!
Be my guest!
Dragon Sword!
Hope this works!
Now I'm in the groove! Explosive ring!
I never
Hurricane!
It's over!
¡No!
An astral arts?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
We're not finished! Blow away!
Light acid dance to the wind! In here! I'll be safe!
Muerto.
Looks like we got them all.
Ah, sí, usamos la llave, por favor. Ay, ay, ay. Uy, esto me huele que aquí viene el boss. vamos a guardar. Porque esto se va a venir sabroso. Vamos a ver si hay algo importante aquí. Y abrimos esto. A ver, permiso. Let's go.
Did that finally get rid of the wall?
It should.
To think they would hide it in Lord Dohalim's personal quarters. The nerve of these people.
They won't get away with it for much longer.
That's right. We have to hurry to the Lord's chamber. Let's go.
Aquí vamos a pelear con el boss, así que vamos a guardar aquí este punto. Y empecemos.
Well, well, if it isn't the slaves and the traitor. I don't remember giving you permission to enter the palace.
So it's true. You really are the one behind all this, Kelzelik.
I don't remember giving you permission to speak either. Know your place, slave.
Now we see his true colors.
Yeah, a despicable excuse for a human being. Though really, I guess that makes him pretty ordinary, huh?
Kelzelik, you were Lord Dohalim's most trusted advisor. His closest ally. Why would you betray him?
Don't be a fool. I didn't serve him because I wanted to. I expect a mere slave wouldn't know, but there are many powerful contenders for the position of Lord. A contest of strength determines the one who will be Lord and undisputed ruler of a realm. There is no choice in the selection. If my master had any ambitions of becoming the sovereign, I would have gladly served him.
But he had no intention of fighting for the crown.
Indeed. Can you slaves even imagine how that looked to the rest of us? Enduring the whims of an ambitionless lord, all we could do was wait for the end as we suffered through our humiliation.
You want suffering? Try being Danon for a day.
So you plotted against Lord Dohalim in secret. And when my brother found out...
And I would do it all again if it meant returning Menancia to its rightful state! A realm where Danons are slaves and Renans their masters. It's the natural order.
Enough! Who are you to decide what is natural or rightful, traitor? Miguel, my brother, he dreamed of building a world free of suffering. He gave his life for that dream. And all you've managed to build is a lake of death. You killed my brother. And now you'll die for it!
Vamos.
My brother's dead because of you!
Why should I concern myself with the passing of one pathetic slave?
Have you no shame?
Here goes!
It can hide itself? Amazing!
Thanks for the weak spot.
Dance in the wind!
Ignite!
Annihilation! My afterlife!
Take this!
Flame of fury! Not in your dreams!
It's over!
Now you see what I can... I'll finish you here and now!
Sovereign Alpha!
Eat this!
Here I come!
Tear you apart!
Cover the captain! Gemini Aqua!
You're mine!
Lightning
You're
Desire! Flame of fury!
It vanished again?
Listen carefully and keep your eyes peeled.
Here I come! Strike!
Eat this!
This one's mine.
Hijo de puya.
You're mine! Try hard, my turn!
Here,
Here I
let me
come!
help.
Dragon Form! Explosive ring!
I'm on it!
It's over! Dragon Form!
Weapon tear!
You're finished!
Dance in the wind!
Here I come! You're finished!
Here, let me help.
You're mine! No escape! Coming! Sword Rain Alpha! Take this! Strike! This time! Burn in hell!
He's such a failure.
Stay away from my friend!
Steel first aid!
Thanks! Dragon Swarm!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss. Not on my watch.
Ah!
Oh, me mataron a uno.
I'll bring you back from
It's
death's
over!
abyss. Take that! Resuscitation! Light astral energy!
Take this! Try harder! Now! You're mine!
Let me help.
It's over!
First aid!
No escape!
Laser spear!
This isn't looking good!
Raging sword!
You're finished!
Don't get in my way!
I'll finish you here and now!
Graviton
I'm on it!
Anything
Your armor is all. He's such a
I'll be
failure.
saving this one. I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! Raging Cascade! I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
Por favor.
Resuscitation! Thunderblade! Here's the flame of fury! Burning strike! Glacial spear! Here's the evil! Freeze blade! This world!
You're finished!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Here goes!
You're mine!
Not on my watch! Here, let me
Here I
help.
come!
Raging Storm!
Try this!
Razor Cyclone!
Explosive ring!
Inferno!
Sword! Sword Rain Alpha!
Crumble!
Dragon Swarm!
Lightning! Raging Cascade!
Explosive ring!
Field!
I'm on it!
I'll be
not
saving
done.
Tear you
this one!
apart! Shattering by the
This time!
armor won't save you!
This one's mine!
Take this! Eat this!
I'm on it!
Lightning
Here I
the
come.
Healing Arts!
Ah!
Dance in the waves!
I owe you
I'm
one!
on it!
Air
Try this!
Watch this!
Do it! Energy!
Still!
This
I'm on.
ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Here, let me help!
I'll tear
I'm
you
not
apart!
done!
I felt fine not too long ago.
Try this!
Sleep now!
Explosive ring!
Swallow dance! I'll be saving this one!
You're mine!
Lightning
You're
orb
finished!
by the
Dragon Swarm!
Denied! Now I'm in the groove!
I owe you one! You're mine! Swarm! Here comes a big one! It's over! Take this! You're finished!
Eat this!
It's on! No escape!
Esto.
Not today!
Lightning
You're mine! It's over! Here I come!
Go get him!
You're finished!
Dance in the wind!
Uy.
A new lease on life!
Ay, se le puede entrar ahí por la
Astral Arts?
That's my cue!
I'm not feeling. Shut him down! Dragon Swarm!
Ready to go!
You're finished!
Let the Martian handle this!
No tengo. Ok, sí.
Oh, you are gonna pay for that!
I'm out!
Take this! It's over!
Where are you going? Ready to go!
Here I come!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Resuscitation! Back into the
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Oh! Now I'm real mad!
Dance in the wind! Sleep now! I'll be saving this one! Crossblade!
I'll crush you! Ah! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Estaba esperando que me revivan.
I'm just getting started!
Creo que no paré. Ok. Ya me revivo. Aquí está.
There!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Shattering to pieces!
Pero déjame ver la última que queda.
This should do it!
Water!
I'm on it!
Lightning orb! It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Healing circle!
Thanks.
Lightning supernova! Raging cascade! Not on my watch!
I'll smash you!
Here I come!
Mega ray!
Dragon Swarm!
Here's a healing arm!
Ah!
Primed and ready!
Swallow dance!
Lightning
This
condemned!
now!
Oh, la que se va a caer.
Coming through!
La que se va a caer.
Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'm on it! Talent Parte!
You picked the wrong fight!
Rip and tear! First aid! This one's mine!
Take this! Dragon Swarm! Try this! Explosive Ring!
Now I'm in the corner! Freeze Lancer!
Here I come! Try harder! Not a chance!
First aid! Raging Storm!
It's over! We got him on the run!
Don't get cocky!
Right. Still anyone's fight. You'll pay for that!
Thank you. Here's the evil!
Strike!
Freeze Lancer!
Tienes para revivir, no. Voy a tener que zona vital y... para los dos.
Here I come! I'm on it!
Y voy a usar otra vital.
What was I thinking? Supernova!
Lo que voy a hacer...
Not in your dreams! Searing flame! Reload! Lightning condensed! Glacial spear! Here's the evil!
Voy a recuperarles a todos la vida. Por favor.
Freeze Lancer! All in here! Talon Sword! Back into the fray!
Try harder! My turn! Here comes something big!
Try to dodge! Eat this! Light astral energy! Glacial spear! Pierce evil! Freeze Lancer! Lightning orb!
Eat dirt!
Light astral energy! Lightning
Escape!
I'll smash you!
It's over!
Reload!
Dragon Swarm! Crumble!
Searing flame!
Sword Rain
The
Alpha!
sky is mine!
Take this! Dragon Swarm!
This world! Watch this! Take that! Bullseye! Here! Flame of fury! Burning!
You're mine!
Talon Sword! Here I come! It's weakened!
This ends now!
Annihilation! Dance to the
Explosive
wind!
Ring!
Now!
Chikara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
You filthy slaves are despicable!
Your dreams of attaining lordship are no more. Give up, Kelzelik.
Attaining lordship! Ridiculous. Only those who possess a master core can become a lord. What, did you think just anyone could do it?
But then, what were you trying to accomplish with this? Didn't you betray your lord?
Yes, that's true. However, there are other lords.
Other lords? So you mean...
At last, the truth is revealed.
Dohalim, where have you been this whole time?
Cleaning up. Kelzelik, you've made your last of these.
The fruit of Helgen?
It can't be. You found my production facility?
Correct. And I tore it down. But something still troubles me. It's clear that this is no ordinary fruit. Nor was the equipment used to grow it. You couldn't have done all this without outside assistance. Indeed. Something like this must have come from another realm. Mahag Sar, perhaps?
You actually expect me to talk now? At this point, the contest for the crown will be over soon enough, and you will finally receive the punishment you deserve for your weakness.
I've already received my punishment. May this be my final act, as the Lord of Elder Menencia. Go. To Mahag Sar, Ganeth Haros, wherever you think you'll find a suitable lord.
Are you all right with this? He killed your brother after all.
He did. But then I thought, he's nothing more than one common, ordinary Renan. He's not worthy of my time or my anger, right?
So after everything, was the dream of coexisting just a dream?
What is that?
Those are the cheers of the brave Danans who overpowered Kelzelik's forces.
Wait, they challenged the Renans?
Indeed. A militia made up of Danan guardsmen, Renan supporters, and of course, the Gold Dust Cats.
Do we have you to thank for bringing them all together?
Regardless of what your original motivations were, your dream of coexistence saved countless lives. And now, those people out there are fighting to keep that dream alive. That's something real.
Be that as it may, they do so now by their own hands. These people no longer need any lord.
Where are you going?
To put an end to the crown contest. So long as its madness persists, peace will remain ever out of reach. I cannot allow it to continue.
The crown contest impacts far more than just the Danans. You're choosing to fight Lenegis and the entire Empire.
I am well aware. However, if I wish to keep this dream from dying, then I have little choice in the matter. Besides, it's the least I can do.
So you're gonna go out there and make that dream real on your own?
You may be decided on your path, but that doesn't make it any less difficult.
Why not walk that road with us?
Pardon?
You heard me. We're fighting to liberate the Danans, and you're fighting for the people of this realm. I'd say we're on the same path, really. It would only make sense for us to walk it together.
Danan dissidents, side by side with a Renan lord? Not the least intriguing invitation I've received. An invitation which would only be proper courtesy for me to accept.
I'll take that as a yes.
Hey, where'd Kisara go? I don't see her anywhere.
Maybe she just needed some time alone. A lot's happened.
That makes sense. She did just lose her brother after all.
We ought to keep moving as well. So long as there are lords who draw breath, we have a mission to complete. Kisara's a big girl. I'm sure she can handle herself. We should hurry on ahead to our next destination.
I guess you're right. And it is a lot safer here than it was. What do you think, Dohalim?
I am not sure I have the right to say anything as far as Kisara is concerned.
Fair enough. Well, I, for one, would like to say goodbye if we get a chance. Let's keep an eye out for her as we leave.
Se ejecuta un esquive perfecto antes del ataque al enemigo. Okidoki.
What's Kisara going to do now?
I'm sure it's complicated for her.
Where did Kisara run off to?
You don't think she took off after Kelzelik, do you?
No. Miguel entrusted her with his dream. She wouldn't do something reckless like that. Right now, I think she just needs time to think. What she does from here on out is up to her. She has to be the one to decide.
Estoy viendo un juego interesante que va a salir en 2 días. Pero no sé si jugarlo. Como va a ser de choices. A ver. ¿Para dónde hay que ir? Ahí, ok. Vamos aquí.
We've reached our destination.
You all arrived here from Cislodia, yes? In that case, you should depart via the south gate, rather than the one you arrived through.
Okidoki. Gracias por la información.
After all that, Kisara never came back to see us.
I'm surprised she slipped away without us noticing. Where would she even go? I hope this place survives. You think the Danins and Renins have a chance of getting along? We didn't really do much to change things around here, did we?
This realm had its own walls to overcome. And in the end, it was the people themselves who decided to break them down, without any help from us. I hope they keep going. I really do.
Yeah, well, if you say so, I guess. Huh?
All right. I leave command of the Gold Dust Cats in your hands.
You've got nothing to worry about, Kisara. I'll do your brother proud.
Looks like it's time to go. Take good care of Zare for me. All right, Legil?
You've got it. Stay safe, Kisara.
Did you come to say goodbye?
Actually, I was wondering if you could use another companion.
Huh?
Well, we certainly don't mind you coming along. We just figured you'd stay behind and help rebuild. These people could use you.
I thought much the same thing. However, in the end, something changed my mind. Ever since Miguel died, I've been thinking a lot. About where I went wrong, what I should have done differently. You know, that sort of thing. It's true that our dream of coexistence saved many Danan lives, but we were naive and short-sighted. I was so wrapped up in my idea of how things should be that I didn't see the problems that existed right in front of us. I thought we had been given a utopia. And so I never bothered to look too far past its surface. I chose to be ignorant. And because of that, because of me, my brother...
Miguel's death wasn't your fault, Kisara.
Perhaps you're right. But in the end, it was me he entrusted this dream to. I learned that nothing in this life is free, or gained without sacrifice. Now that I know that, I'll just have to figure out what else I don't know.
So, decided to join us?
I have. And hopefully I can continue to protect Eldaman and Sia from outside the dream world, for the sake of those still inside.
And here I thought you joined for an opportunity on my life.
In all honesty, I'm grateful to you. I truly am. I don't blame you for what happened. But I must also leave your service. No longer will I be defined by protecting a Renin lord. From now on, when I fight to protect my dream. All I ask is that you do your part, that you fight alongside me, not just for those who used to believe in your dream, but for those that still do. Dohalim.
I understand. I'm no longer a lord anyway.
Well, this crew just gets bigger and bigger. All right, where to, team?
We make for Mahag Sar, the Valley of the Four Winds.
Vaya, vaya. Confirmamos. Ok, boy. A ti te falta... ¿Este qué es? Ok, le dejamos pendiente. Tú no tienes ni una completada, ¿verdad? Este. Este me falta esto. Este me falta uno. ¿Tú cómo la llevas? Puedo hacer nomás uno de estos. Y tú. Okidoki.
I'm amazed how easily you can move such a giant shield around like it's nothing.
Really? It's not actually as heavy as it looks.
It's really reassuring to have someone like you protecting us, though.
You know, I guess I never realized it before, but looking back, I've always been the sort to put myself in harm's way to protect those around me, even before I joined the Elderman Guard. So, in a way, using this shield to keep you all safe feels like it's what I was meant to do.
You don't need to worry about protecting me. I don't plan on relying on you.
That's okay. It doesn't matter if you do or not. I don't protect people because they ask me to. I do it because I want to, and because I think it's the right thing to do. That goes for you too, Dohalim.
Me?
Yes. You see, you and I both want the same thing. We have the same goal. That means it's in my best interest to continue to protect and keep you safe as well. Even now.
I'm not sure how much protecting I'll need either, but I appreciate the thought. I'm sure you'll do us proud, Kisara.
Right. You can all count on me.
What was Kelzalik even after in the end?
Isn't it obvious? Clearly he wanted the throne for himself, and was gonna have his goons execute Dohalim to get it.
He had to have known he couldn't hope to defeat a lord. He should have run while he had the chance, instead of holding himself up in the palace.
Maybe he thought he couldn't run? Either way, the outcome's the same.
So he got desperate and decided to go for broke?
One might argue that he was another victim of mine, in a sense.
Huh?
There is no greater calling in life to a Renin than the crown contest, yet I refused to take part. The shock he felt at that must have been truly immense. Enough to drive him to revolt, even though doing so meant defying Renin hierarchy.
I know I've said this before, but Danans and Renins wouldn't coexist here if it wasn't for your stance.
But that was no lofty idealism on my part. nor do I feel any pride at what occurred.
Spare us the pity party. You literally just joined us to uphold those ideals.
Shion?
No, she's absolutely correct. I shall speak no more of my misgivings.
Tururú. Vamos a ver qué tal está la siguiente zona.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Vaya, vaya. No sé si llegar nomás hasta esta área o llegamos a toda la zona. Vamos a pelear.
Ow! You're mine!
Here I go!
Try this!
Try this on for size!
Here I come! It's over! Mirage! Dragon Form!
See that in your dreams! Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that thing.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
I'll be taking that one!
You picked the wrong fight! Here I come! First try!
Well, looky here!
Tururú. Uy, creo que lo
Ow! I'll take you all off!
It's go time! I'm on it!
Here I come! You're finished!
Armor won't save you!
Dragon Form! Keep charging out!
That's what my shield's for. Do it! Get behind me!
Done! I'll leave it to you! Now I can let loose! You're mine! Not a chance!
That's enough!
Glacial spear!
Prepare to be sealed!
lo maté.
Talon Hurricane! You're mine!
Yo pensé que lo había matado.
All aboard the victory train!
Overconfidence can bite you in the butt.
Ah, acá está, si por el
Hoo.
Cola de demonio.
Hoo.
Maybe something's going on in the forest.
Whoopa.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Come and face me! Try harder!
Denied!
It's on! Here I
Clear
come!
corruption!
Dragon
I'll
Form!
be flaming power on water! Lightning condensed!
You're
Creo que
mine!
ahora cambiará mucho la jugada
I'll
del
stop
dragón.
its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Now I can let loose!
Swallow this!
Here I come!
Raging Dragon!
We are freaking invincible!
Coming through!
Váyanse.
Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Dance in the wind!
It's over!
Do it!
Try this!
Ahí.
First strike! Explosive ring!
Yo tengo que ya puedo ganar.
Let's refrain from losing.
Pero bueno. Digamos.
There's something in the water.
Que en el agua. Pescado.
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond, and it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
No suena interesante. Pero bueno.
I've got something.
Está. No le entiendo, pero bueno.
I reeled us in a big one.
That flapper was a true fighter.
Whatever. Ya abandonemos la pesca.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
Ok. Parece que sabes usar una caña. Hace mucho que pesco y conseguí una buena colección de equipo para eso. La compartiré contigo si te interesa. Solo quiero una cosa a cambio. Lo único que pido es que me muestres los registros de los peces que atrapes. Cuanto más captures, más equipo te daré. Si necesitas algo, siempre estoy aquí. No dudes a venir a pedírmelo. Okidoki. Misión completada. Esto de la caña, no sé. No creo que la haga. Vamos a darle vida. Calidad.
I'm always amazed what healing...
Hey.
Hmm?
Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey, though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought, after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it.
Okidoki, entonces aquí lo dejamos. Esa habla la baja para otro día. Vamos a poner aquí, guardamos datos, sí por favor. Y somos nivel 23, así que nos vemos a la próxima y chao chao.